Hey, what's up guys, it's ToFurkie here, and I am going to be doing a proof of concept video on interchanging rails. That's right, interchanging rails are rails that can change from left to right by either clicking button. As you can see, it changed to right and now it will change to left. Or if you click if you click a button, it will just change from right and then back to left because it will turn on and off. Now, as you can see, if you go down here, there's this torch that is right under this track, which allows it to turn left and right. I'm pretty sure few of you are familiar with this in adventure maps, or I guess kind of built this in your own kind of servers or single player builds. Now, I really do like the interchangeable rails, but my one issue is that right now I'm at house 1 and I'm about to go to house number 2. I'm at house number 2. As you can see, the power is on, so it leads me to house number 2. Now my issue here is, if I were to click this button, it will only send me back to house number 1. It does not give me the option to just go directly to house number 3. I would have to go back from 2 back to 1, flip the switch, click the button, and then go back all the way to house number 3. I didn't like that. I felt like you could circumvent that in some way, so this is the proof of concept on how to circumvent it. So this build was my first test. This was before I actually gained a little more knowledge on redstone. So what I did was pretty much put levers on all sides, so as opposed to just this one side where house 1 only has a lever. Now house 1, 2, and 3 all have levers. Now the flaw to this is that when you flip the lever on 1, it will immediately turn off this redstone, and no matter what you do at these levers, it will not turn it back on to change the track. So if you look right now, so here, I'm going to angle it and kind of use my zoom. Okay, that's not working. But you can see it, right? Yeah, I'm going to try, there you go. Now, let's see if you can see it. See? As you can see, the track's not changing. And if I flip this one now, and because that one's on, it's still not going to change. Now the issue here is that if you want to turn it on and off, you can't have all the signals from each station going directly into the block. So what you need is for a system where the blocks go into some sort of T flip-flop to then power this. That way, if you were to, let's say, click a button on this side, it will turn on, then off, activate the T flip-flop, and then it will activate this on. So then if you go back to here, flip the button, let's pretend there's a button. You flip the button, and then instead of going directly into a block again, it will just go into the T flip-flop, and then it will turn the system off. So this is that build exactly. Now, right now, it's a redstone mess. This is why it's a proof of concept and not an actual tutorial. So I'm just going to explain to you what is going on in this kind of chaosy type redstone messy kind of thing. Now, house 1, house 2, and house 3. I'm just going to do quick explanations about what everything does. This button here, first this button is the one that if you put your cart here and you click the button, it will push your cart all the way through. This button is what changes the track. So right now it's right, and it just changed left if you saw that, and it just changed back to right. So that's stuff, and this tells you whether it's right or left. Like as you can see, when this torch is on, it means it's going to house number 2. So let's do a quick test on that. So right now, that torch on, so it leads to house number 2. Let's go. And bam, I'm at house number 2. Now it's on, so it will send me back to house number 1, which is obvious. However, if I were to say click the button again, you'll notice the torch turns off, and when it's off, it will take me to house number 3. So let's do a test on that. Boom. And boom, house number 3. Now I'm going to show you how this works. So real quick, I'm going to show you the part with the button first, and I'll explain later about the torches and how the T flip-flop is kind of put in this whole system. So this button, what it does, it is wired all the way to the central power area of the main T flip-flop. Now this T flip-flop, I'll do a quick build for it for you guys. Let me grab all this stuff. There you go. So then, here, I'm going to build a quick T flip-flop. This is, again, a very basic T flip-flop. You might have seen this in my video about the interchangeable enchanting room. Again, this is by far one of my favorite T flip-flops because it doesn't require slime. My god, slime is an invaluable resource. So, here, a button as opposed to a lever. You click, and it switches, and it'll turn on. So, let me just... let's just have this power piston for now. Okay, so right now it's on. I click the button again. The piston will turn off. That's a T flip-flop. It will turn a button into a lever type kind of device. Now I say lever type mainly because it has the, like, if you have multiple buttons hooked up to one T flip-flop, each button will have the ability to change the power or change whether or not the T flip-flop gives power to a system or not. And that's what we needed for this particular system. So if I click this button right here, it will turn it on, thus changing it into the direction of house number 2. However, if I were to go over here and click the redstone, it will turn it off. Now that was the issue with this one over here. If you were to just flip the levers and they were both, you know, on, it won't change. However, in this one, it actually does change because it's not powering the torch that affects this track. It is powering the T flip-flop, which powers the track. So, I'm going to show this again. It is on. It'll lead me to house 2. And if I turn it off, it'll take me to house number 3. So that is a solution to being able to make it so that each house that you create, like let's say it is my house, and I had 2 friends' house, and then we set up a rail system where, as opposed to just having like a central area, we just like, let's say, here. This is what we used to have. Button, 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 and then let's pretend that these were power rails. What would happen is we would ride up, land here, break the cart, move to here, click the button, and we would go to their house. Yeah, not this time. Not this time. Now is the awesome system right here. I really want to make this a little more compact. I want to make it so that like it's a little less ugly. I think the main reason why it's so crazy and clustered is because, for one thing, this was like, for a solution, this was like the first try to a solution. Or not first try, but this was like a successful attempt at it. So this is the first successful attempt. So I'm going to try to do many more redstone or many more setups to try and make this more compact or make it look nicer so that, you know, you can use it in a viable build in your vanilla or, yeah, vanilla servers. Oh, and now let me get into these torches. Now, the reason I put torches here is because buttons, unlike levers, don't tell you whether it's on or off. So let's say if we didn't have this torch over here, you wouldn't know if this was going to house 1 or house 2. So it just pretty much be like I guess just like a roulette game where it's just like, oh, maybe it's gonna go to house 2. Who knows? Nope, it goes to house 1. That's why I put this torch here. It's like an indicator for. It's an indicator for where this is turning, and this little sign over here is explaining to you what houses take you to where. Now, this setup is part of the T flip-flop when it powers the redstone. So it's not part of the actual T flip-flop. It's what gets powered. So as you can see right here, by the way, this redstone dust is what's being powered by the T flip-flop. So I'm going to click the button one last time. As you see, now it's powered. This block powers this redstone, leading to all the various redstone directions. So as you can see, this redstone leads over to here, right here. It powers this block, which turns off this redstone, which turns on this redstone. So let's say we click the button again. The redstone dust turns off, thus turning on this redstone torch and turning off this one, and allowing you to figure out what goes where. And again, same concept for over here. Because it's off, this is on, and this is off. Click the button. Now it's on, this is off, and this is on. So, yeah, this is pretty much a proof of concept of how to, I don't really know what to call this, how to control where you're going on your rails from 3 different locations. I'm just gonna leave it like that. So, yeah, hopefully I will have a tutorial on how to do this in the future, but right now it's just a proof of concept. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace.